Okay. In this video, I'm going to be going over a lot of the more advanced nuances to do with Ed's anti-fireball game and what options he has. I really recommend watching this one all the way through. This is probably... I guarantee you haven't thought about all of this stuff, right? It's not going to be, it's not like, oh, did you know you could OD DP through a fireball on reaction? Like, most people know that stuff. People have seen it, people know it. It's nothing like that. It's not like, oh, you should do this and follow it through. It's nothing like that. This is going to be about Ryu specifically in this instance, but it's applicable to all zoners to different extents. The reason I've picked Ryu is because I think he has a traditional fireball, but it's also a very good fireball at the same time. There will be definite differences in how you apply this knowledge to other characters, but that's the whole point of training mode. And I recommend, even the stuff that I show you, I recommend still trying it in training mode anyway, because you really need to get a feel for the spacings and the ideas and how it all works. You're not just going to be able to wing this kind of stuff in a game just from knowing it. Every character is very different how their fireballs operate. Luke's are like hit scan, Ryu's can be slow or fast, you know what I mean? Guile is a whole different beast, but all these ideas are applicable in different ways to all those characters. So make sure to try them out. Alright, before we get into the main part of this video, there is one button I wanted to talk about, which is not going to be the focus of the video, but it's a very important and strong tool for dealing with fireballs. As you can see at this range, Ed, not even close to threatening with a jump in, right? And almost every character in the game isn't at this range. However, Ed has jumping medium kick, and it has strange timing, but it's very, very good, as you can see. You have to time it. If you press too early, as you can see, and if you press too late, it'll not come out. It does whiff against crouching as well, but realistically, no one's going to be crouching when you jump unless they're really not expecting a jump, right? But to be able to just threaten at this range, not only with a button, but also into a full combo, is really crazy. This is, people know it's good, this button, but people don't know how good it really is. This jump in is extremely strong. So keep that in mind when you're fighting kind of strong zoning with Ed, that you have this option where at ranges, they're probably not even thinking about anti-airing here at all, because why would you, right? You're not going to get jumped in, but Ed can. Okay, I'm going to start this off with a bit of kind of theory that I saw Pugera talking about, and the translation wasn't very good, but I think I got the gist of what he was saying. And this is going to serve as the basis of everything we're going to talk about after. We're going to expand on it. First, I'm just going to have Ryu throw a fireball at me. Alright. Let's see what that is on block. 16 on block, right? And if we parry it, which you're usually going to be doing, it's going to be the same. 18, because of slight difference of pushback, I suppose. But you see, what does this mean exactly? Well, let's have Ryu. I'm going to have him do slow fireball, fast fireball, which gives him the most time to recover for his second fireball, to give him the best advantage possible in the situations we're going to be talking about. Alright. Actually, you know what? I'm going to change that. Let's do... Okay, so if I'm expecting Ryu he's going to try fireball zone me, and I'm trying to punish him, I mean, what do, right? You want to jump over a fireball at the right time. But this, right here, as you can see, is what, it's like what people refer to as like a fireball trap, right? Ryu, he throws the first fireball at me, He sees that he blocked it, and he knows because I blocked it, if he throws another one, I won't be able to jump and punish the second one in time. So if I do jump, he'll always get an anti-air there, right? That's how that works, that situation. Okay? Now, what are the answers to this other than just jumping right the first time and never blocking a fireball? A common universal answer is perfect parry. Right? That works. And that's great. Because, you know, everyone can do it, but it is a 2-frame window, and you might not always, depending on what speed Hadoukens Ryu's doing, you might not get the perfect parry, right? So what can you do then? Well, before we get to that, actually, you have more options than that of perfect parry, and I'll try to demonstrate here, although I'm a bit rusty on this one. Here's what you can do besides perfect parry jump, right? There we go. As you can see, you need to really buffer the OD Snatcher into the perfect parry really quick, otherwise in that situation specifically you're going to get hit. But that's another option you can threaten with, right? Perfect parry into OD Snatcher to beat the second fireball. But again, this is a read. You need to be doing that OD Snatcher before you even see the second fireball start, right? And it costs 2 bars to do that. But it's still good, and you should do this sometimes because it will work, and it will put the fear into people that you could do something like that again, right? Okay, now I'm just going to set Ryu again to throw a fireball so we can look at the frame data again. As we've seen, minus 16 for us again, or minus 17 or 18, around that range. If we perfect parry, let's get that. Zero, right? But you need to hit a 2-frame perfect parry for that, which is definitely doable against fireballs, don't get me wrong. But there's an easier answer, and this is what I saw Pugera kind of talking about, right? What you can do instead is this. Whoops. Look at that. I'm +3 after doing that spark. -1, and that was from further back. +5. So what does this mean? As you may know already from what I showed before, this means that you can do this. And you don't have to hit a 2-frame perfect parry to do this. You simply need to spark a fireball, and then you have enough advantage to jump over. And even do the OD. Oops, let me do that again. Even do the OD Snatcher, which is still a read, but you're getting into the situation where it's a threat far easier. So, okay, that's the first major kind of anti-fireball tool that Ed has in these situations. He doesn't need to perfect parry to threaten. And how can Ryu beat this? Obviously, he can OD fireball and it'll go through the spark, but that's not that big of a deal, right? Maybe if you're fighting Ken. Every character's different. Here's where I'll show you just how threatening Ed can be at this range. Very uniquely threatening without being very committal at the same time. So we will have Ryu throw the same fireballs using the tools I've already shown. As you can see, you can threaten with Snatcher. And I was using Light Snatcher there because it's faster charge time to get fully charged, and it will still punish fireballs even at further range than what you would think because of the extended hurt box of throwing a fireball. if you have fully charged snatchers at these kind of ranges, people should be scared to throw fireballs against you. And if they're not, then things like that are going to happen. Being able to spark fireballs, it gives you the advantage to give you enough time to charge a snatcher and be a threat. But what if Ryu, instead of throwing another fireball, what if he decides to jump at you? You can simply do that, right? But what if, let's say, put it here, it's at a range where Ryu, if he jumps, he'll still catch me on the backdash. What can I do in that situation, right? You go underneath. And you have a very reduced hurt box to go underneath jumps. So that's a very safe option as well. What if Ryu decides to drive rush instead? You simply stop them like that, right? Okay, what if Ryu decides to throw an OD fireball? Oops, let me just re-record that. I get hit. There's nothing I can really do to stop that. If I let go of the flicker, it would also get hit. That's a good answer to the situation for Ryu, but it's not that bad for me. I mean, if it was against Ken, I would be a bit worried. But that's why you can't just do this all the time. It's just a tool to threaten and kind of put the mental stack and make them second guess to ease up on their zoning, right? And you will get great punishes from it, but if you're too predictable with it, you're going to get hit. Another thing that the Ryu can do is simply this. Right? So how is this good for Ryu? As you can see, I'm no longer a threat, but he has given up the screen. So I can use that time to, you know, take more screen space, right? You can even get risky with this and aggressively take screen space like this. You know what I mean? The execution was a bit off there, but you can aggressively take screen space like this, and that doesn't come without risk, obviously. If he threw another fireball, if he walked back through a fireball, it would probably hit me in the face. But again, not that big of a deal. And it's up to you whether you want to take back space that aggressively. Alright, just in brief summary, other than the spark stuff I went over that I learned from Pagera, you are a threat when you have this. You are such a threat to people wanting to throw fireballs with this, and if they don't know that, you're going to get a lot of damage, and if they do, it's going to ease up the fireball game a lot. And if you want to know how much of a threat you possibly can be, they essentially have to be full screen to throw a fireball. As you can see, this range, I'm not hitting Ryu, right? Look. But if I have him throw a fireball here, you see how far this is a threat to Ryu? He can't throw fireballs unless he's full screen. Even this much closer, if I'm charging this and he happens to throw a fireball, I just get a free punish. And that can easily go into super. You know what I mean? So use these tools if you're having a hard time. I see a lot of people have a lot of trouble against Ryu for some reason as Ed. I don't think it's, well, I don't really have too much of an opinion on how it really is. I haven't fought any amazing Ryu players, but from what I understand about both characters, I think it should be either character can win. You just need to know your tools well, right? And these are some of the tools that I don't think almost anybody is using mindfully. They're not aware of just how good Spark is, how much advantage you get just for sparking a fireball, and what options that opens up. And they're not completely aware of how threatening this is, while also being very non-committal. Because like I said, they jump, you backdash. They're too close and they jump, you go underneath. They try to DI this, you backsway. You know, they try to drive rush, you hit them out of it. So use these tools to your advantage. You don't have to just, oh, I got to jump at the right time. You know what I mean? Use your Spark. And obviously you have other tools like, you know, ODDP, OD slow fireball. So yeah, be sure to follow me on Twitter, and that I'll have it posted in the thing, because I post stuff like this all the time. Thank you.